Hey there, wonderful writers and story lovers. First of all, I'm sorry. I know I went MIA for a super long time, but I am back with good news. The book launched and the hard copies are here, and I am so pleased with how it turned out. It is really amazing. It looks amazing, and thank you so much for the support you guys gave along my writing journey. I do not take it for granted. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the encouragement. And I can't wait for you to buy it and see it for yourself and read it. Okay, so for those of you who may not be aware of what Pariah Princess is, it's the first installation in the Gainans series. And it follows the story of Nola, who is this young, impulsive, and stubborn, strong-willed princess who just wants to help her people. She knows that there are people who are suffering under the foundational philosophy of the kingdom, which is called the Gainan way. And she wants to just help them be free of that and to bring justice to all people and not just the people who are deemed worthy because of their station in life. You know, Gaina is a place where your social class matters. So the problem is Nola is just, she's a lot. And though she has the best intentions for the people in her kingdom, her methods keep getting people into problems as opposed to getting them out of it. So in this story, we will see how she learns that good intentions are not enough. She needs to know how to handle things, how to approach situations. She needs to know how to do things with tact. So she turns from becoming this, immature, hot-headed princess into wiser and stronger and more mature leader. And along the way, she figures out how to get the kingdom to back her up and to believe in her, because as of now, no one likes her very much. And to be honest, I kind of found it difficult to like her too at some points. She is not a perfect character. She definitely has her hang-ups. So when you read, you will see for yourself. She's an amazing person. I love her, but yeah, she definitely has some faults that are so annoying. Just so that you get a feel of the book, I'm going to do a small reading from chapter 6, page 29 to a bit of page 30. So in this scene that I'm going to read for you, we're going to see Nola try to connect with one of her former friends, but it's just not happening. This just shows how far she has fallen in the eyes of the kingdom. Nobody likes her. Her friends have turned away from her and she is pretty much all alone, but Nola is still trying to connect with her former friend, and the former friend is called Dawn. We're just going to see how difficult that is for Nola. All right, so let's do this. Nola inhaled sharply, hesitating between ignoring and confronting her. It was too late to decide, however, for the woman cast her eyes in her direction and faltered in her steps. A myriad of expressions washed over her face, her brows furrowed before she finally spun on her heels to walk away. Nola rushed after her. "Dawn!" she called out. Hesitantly, the woman paused and then turned. Cautious of the scores of people milling about, she shuffled her feet and then laid cold eyes on the princess. Her arms rose to her chest and folded across themselves combatively as she waited for her to speak, her thin brow raised. "How are you?" Nola nervously asked. Dawn smirked. "Thriving, unlike you. What are you wearing anyway? Your servant looks more like a princess than you do." Nola ignored that remark and inched closer. "I was hoping you and I could talk." Dawn clicked her tongue impatiently. "It's been years, princess. Let it go. We are no longer friends. Just the fact that we used to be friends brings me shame. Just tell me what I did so that I may apologize. You already know it. That cannot be the explanation, Nola insisted. Not yours, surely. You are a pariah. I am not, Don declared, aware that they had attracted an audience. You deserve the brand of shame. I do not. The day you finally get it burned onto your hand will be the best day of our lives. The spectators murmured in agreement as they witnessed the exchange between the former friends. Dawn sneered at Nola, staring her down. Defend yourself, her eyes declared. Nola wrung her arms, regret settling on her like a thick cloud. Why did she have to engage Dawn in public? Was she so desperate to earn even more ridicule? A quick glance at her surroundings revealed no sympathy there. Eyes condemned her. Lips whispered against her, and fingers accused her, the marketplace swiftly becoming a furnace, the hostility she was receiving enough to bake a clay pot to perfection. She shuffled her feet under the ruthless accusation and massive scrutiny. Buy what you want, I don't care, she muttered to Shani. You'll find me back at the palace. Her gaze lowered and cheeks burning. She hurried out of the marketplace, with Vuma hot on her heels. All right. There is the reading. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you're willing to come in and see how this Dawn and Nola dynamic goes on, because it does go somewhere, and it's quite an interesting thing. So one thing that I haven't talked about, because I wanted to wait for the book to be released before I could share this information, is that I constructed 2 languages for the story. There is Hegawazi and there is Zanwila. So Hegawazi is the local language that everybody speaks, no matter your social class. It's just the language of everyone. And then Zanwila is the language of the elite, and if you can afford to do it, to learn it, then you will know it and you'll understand it and be able to speak fluently in it. So basically, the common folk and the poor people they can't afford it, so they don't know. They might know 1 or 2 words, but that's the extent of their knowledge of Zanwila. So Zanwila, mostly you find it being spoken by the royalty, the nobles, the nobility, and the high officials in the kingdom. And Hegawazi, in book 1, Hegawazi features the most. There are some Zanwilan dialogues sprinkled around here and there, but mostly you find Hegawazi in the story. Don't worry, the book is in English, but when I do insert the conlang, it's mostly in Hegawazi. And the best thing is that to help us all out to understand what is being said, there is a glossary at the back of the book that will help you to understand what is being said in those sections. And also, something else that I would like to remind you all is that after the glossary, at the very end of the book, there is a section where I dive into Gaina and just a bit of world building, so that you'll be able to immerse yourself into the story more and know what's going on. So it speaks about some of the structure that is set in place in this world. So we're talking about the politics, we're talking about the social class, we're talking about the ranking of the warriors, we're talking about some unique features that you will find. For example, cultural features. For example, there's this Jarazi Tantaza, which is the festival of the flame. We'll figure out what that is and the significance. There is also the Ishugwa ceremony, which is the betrothal ceremony, and the steps that happen in the ceremony. There's also the Ngazafanga. We also talk a bit about the Janyarari, which is the sacred lions that are actually a big deal in Gaina, and many other things. And there are also a few character profiles of the main people that feature in the book, like Nola, Lano, Jumu, Kana, Shani, and you'll see some images of them. So yes, this is actually a very rich book. and I hope you'll really enjoy diving into it. So I'm really excited for you to get into this book and experience the world for yourself, because it's an amazing world. I like it. So what now? What next? You'll be happy to know that I am actually working on book 2, and it's coming along well. I'm not going to give any spoilers or hints as to what's going to be in the story, but you know, when you finish the first book, you'll kind of guess where the story is going, or you'll have an idea of the things that I'll tackle in book 2. So that's definitely something that I'm really excited about. I've been looking forward to working on book 2 for the longest time, and now I'm finally getting to do it, and it's exciting. It's exciting to be working with Nola and Jumu and Lano and Kana and Shani, and seeing how the story progresses, and I think it's going to be a very interesting one. I'm so tempted to tell you something about book 2, but I'll just leave it for later, and you know, make sure I solidify that idea before I share it, and then it changes along the way, because I'm a pantser, I'm not a plotter. Well, I'm kind of like a plantser. I do both. I start out with a very light structure of what I want to do, and then I kind of just write, and the story takes its own shape and form. Like, already the story has surprised me in so many ways you won't even begin to believe it. But that's not the point. The point is, book 2 will not take 10 years to come. Book 1 took like 12 years to be published. Don't worry, book 2 will not take that long. I will do my best to deliver. Alright, I'm not going to say when, because I'm still in the beginning stages of book 2, but I won't take 10 years. That one I can promise you. So thank you once again for supporting me, for staying with me through my journey of writing Pariah Princess. I invite you to stay with me longer as I work on book 2, and don't forget to check out my stores on Payhip and Seller to get other content like blogs, writing tips, the fictional serial, writing templates, and other things. So I've got to get back to writing, so I will just end the video here. Thank you once again for your support. Buy my book, you will not regret it, you will really enjoy it, and when you do, I would love to hear what you think about the book and what you're looking forward to seeing in book 2. Until then, keep writing, keep painting your worlds. Goodbye.